Favorite story is this, and this was, I'm not going to use her real name, but at one point, I had a steady stream of people for the first hour and a half coming up to sign. Most of them would say, "Thank you for being here. I've been looking for a place where I can sign." People are so fed up with our governor, so angry and so anxious to get him out of there. Anyway, this young woman walks up and she looks really young. And you have to be 18, obviously, and registered to vote to sign the petition. So my first thought was, oh, I don't think. And sure enough, she walks up and she says to me, "I am so sorry." She's real sweet. "I'm so sorry, but I don't think I can sign because I'm only 16. But I was wondering, I have some questions." I was like, oh, you have come to the right place. I love to answer questions. And she was just such a doll. So I asked her, I said, "Go ahead." The next thing she says is, "Well, I can't really ask anyone because my whole family is just straight Democrat, and I just can't get any answers to my questions." I was just like, "Oh, sweetie, please tell me what you're thinking." So I said, "What's your first question?" And her first question was, "Well, I don't know who this is." She didn't know who the governor was. So I got the chance to stand there and explain who the governor of our state was, the three branches of government, the executive, legislative, and judicial, that just like we have that on the federal level for the country, we have that on the state level. Then I explained our governor's powers, that the executive powers versus the legislative and judicial, and how he was able to, through the emergency powers, grab everything and not be held accountable according to the design of our government. I told her how much money he had stolen from she and I, as the state of Colorado, that was given by the federal government for COVID that he just took and used. I told her some of how he used it. I told her about, I asked her at one point, I said, "If you could have anything you wanted, power over everyone around you as long as they believe that they were sick, do you think that you might invest in convincing them that they were sick?" She thought about it for a second, and then she said, "Yeah, I think I would." And I said, "Well, there you have it. As long as he can convince us that we're in a state of emergency, he has no accountability. He can do whatever he wants to us." And that's why hundreds, even thousands of Colorado businesses have been put out of business. That's why I said, "Do you remember when you couldn't go to the gym? Do you remember when all of these things were shut down? Do you know that I've had a bunch of friends die? None of them of COVID, but I haven't been able to go to any of their funerals. Have you experienced some of this?" And I said, "That's all him, and none of it is legal. We have a Bill of Rights in the Constitution." I said, "Our governor is a temp worker. He will come and go. We want him gone sooner rather than later. But our Constitution is the boss, and he has utterly defied it. He's thrown our Bill of Rights in the trash." And then I got to explain to her a little bit about how I grew up in a blue city, and most of the people that I grew up around voted straight Democrat and would not want to have anything to do with what the Democratic platform is now, because it's shifted so much, but that information often has not trickled down to the average Democratic voter. So it just encouraged her that her family might not actually know, just like she hadn't known much about the process, might not actually know what is going on. And if they were to find out, if they were to ask questions like she was asking, might find that they hate what they've been voting for. So it was just, I mean, I won't forget her. How special is that? It takes so much humility, first of all, to walk up to a stranger and say, "I need some information because I just don't know." And she was just the sweetest thing. And on that note, I just want to say, this upcoming generation is the generation that will end freedoms, because this fight that we're just barely holding on to, that we might lose it now in this election, but if we don't, the demographics are coming. We can't avoid the way that this next generation is voting. They're voting. They are pro-socialist. They are not, just like this cute little girl was not aware of how the government actually works, of what her rights are as an American, of our history, of the state of liberty, that we are so exceptional. They think that freedom is normal. They don't know the history of the world, and they've been starved of information. They're like malnourished. They've been given enough food, but they are starved for truth. And I just want to, I guess I want to say, have mercy on them, man. I remember when I was 17, I went off to college and I took my first political science course, and everything was a joke to me, and the world was so funny. And we had, one of the exercises we did was to balance the budget. We had to balance the budget on a computer program. And I sat down and I was like, this is easy. And I cut the defense budget by 40%. I just thought it was fun. It's so easy. Why hadn't anyone else thought of that? And anyway, I still remember the look on my prof's face when he came over and was just like, I don't even know what to do with you. You're so ignorant of the real world and how it works. And all I can say is thank God that I didn't actually have any power to cut the defense budget by 40%. That's the kind of stupid thing that I would have done. We have to preserve young people until they have a chance to gain experience. And we have to tell them the truth. And above all, they have not been told the truth. So I guess I want to say, have mercy. Have mercy. As much as you can. Stand up, stop being silent, and tell the plain truth about politics, about what is going on. There's this idea, especially among Christians, that it is virtuous to be silent, to be disimpassioned, to be disinterested, to be apolitical. It's not. It's never been virtuous. And I think I'd like to talk about that more, but I just wanted to end on that note. I think it is cruel. It is downright cruel to leave people to the wolves that will eat them, because freedom is not normal. Freedom is not free. It has to be fought for. And when we leave this generation without truth, without accurate history, without real knowledge of economics and of what this party, the Democrat Party, is bringing in, what the celebrities are selling them, and the slavery, that the bondage and oppression that is the history of the world, that is the norm in the world, that is waiting for them if they vote the way that they've been brainwashed to vote by media. It's cruel. It's cruel. It's not virtuous. It's not Christian. It's cruel.